welcome you to another interesting edition on the Desopadec Weekly. This is where you get all the gist on activities of the Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission. It is a public enlightenment program. The quick intervention of the Desopadec over flood devastation across Delta State has continued to engage our attention. Come along with us as we bring you more on relief materials to the flood victims. Joy Ochein is my name. Thank you for joining us.
My name na Basharon Askiaoke. We be managing director and chief executive officer for Desopadec. I come talk to our people. Say, as the time done they reach, when they will start election and the things when they will take down, I come the appeal say, all the things when I tell us make we do, make life for better for now. What we don't do for the various communities, I want them to say make na wash over them well. Make they not destroy anything. Particularly for this time when the election they come so. Because why? This election when they come self, they take gun, they take cutlass, take drum. Now PVC now you go get. Collect your PVC. Anything when they your mind, first collect your PVC. When the day reach, now thumbprint, they tell the thumbprint, you go carry and put for ballot paper. Fight not the day. But if anything they, even if argument go day, men are not argue reach where and go destroy the things when government don't do corner. I beg una. So that when government bring other things, you go meet the one when done the ground before. I beg una. At the time to show say una appreciate what the government do. And that one I go good for us.
The Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, the Desopadec, has since commenced distribution of relief materials in the different ethnic nationalities of the Commission's mandate area. The relief materials, which included food items, mattresses, beddings, among others, are still being distributed to the flood victims who have been trapped by the recent flooding in oil-bearing communities in the state. It will be recalled that the Desopadec, as an interventionist agency, had earlier set up camps in mandate areas of the Commission to cater for the needs of internally displaced persons in those areas. The Commission, under the watch of Basharon Askiaoge's Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, has also, in this period of flooding, carried out the desilting of drainages and major water channels in Delta oil-producing communities. The Desopadec Weekly TV crew witnessed the distribution of relief items to the 3 affected local government areas under the Ijaw ethnic nationality. The items are rice, beans, gari, yam tubers, vegetable oil, palm oil, salt, noodles, bowls and buckets, wrappers, drinks, toiletries, beddings, and mosquito-treated nets. Before handing over the relief materials, the MD, CEO of the Desopadec, Basharon Askiaoge, visited the Ijaw Relief Materials Distribution Center to inspect and ensure a heat-free process. The Executive Director, Planning, Research and Statistics, the Desopadec, Dr. Shadrach Agidiga, who was in company of the member representing the Ijaw ethnic nationality and the board of the Desopadec, Dr. Paul Bebenimebo, showed Basharon Askiaoge around the relief items. After the tour, the MD CEO Bashirun Askelge addressed members of the press on the distribution process.
My EDPRS and the ethnic rep. What I've seen here is quite amazing. And given the fact that over 3/4 of our people in the Ijaw ethnic nationality have been ravaged by the flood, one cannot expect less. But importantly, I want to, having commended your effort, I want to also commend that every of these items should be sent to people, particularly those who are not in the camps now. So we want to reach out to our people who have been impacted by the flood, whose livelihood have been altered in the process of this flooding. And the Desopadec, as a very responsive interventionist agency, have decided to reach out to all the ethnic nationalities, the oil building communities, and beyond that are involved or have been impacted negatively.
The relief materials to the impacted communities in Patani local government area were handed over to the chairman of the council, Honorable Isaac Aguana, for onward distribution to the flood victims. The Patani chairman, while appreciating the commission for the timely intervention, said a large part of the landmass has been submerged by the flood.
Let me, on behalf of all the Ijaw local governments and the Ijaw ethnic nationalities, appreciate the Desopadec. We want to thank you for what you have done. This is a natural disaster and our people are trapped. We were not expecting this, but it has happened. In my local government, Patani, there is no single land you will see in Patani. So in fact, Patani is totally submerged. So we are happy. I will continue to pray for you, for God to give you wisdom to see how you can do more to reach out to the people as you promised.
The chairman, Bomadi local government, who also received relief materials on behalf of his council area, gave a narration on the flood devastation. He also reacted to the intervention scheme of the Desopadec towards bringing succor to the flood-displaced victims.
It cannot be described by words of mouth. The people are underwater. All the communities are submerged. They are just living on top of their canoes and other makeshift places they can find, because there is no one single land that is out there. So the people are suffering. It's quite commendable. It's quite commendable because when you see something out of nothing, then you must appreciate. We commend the management of Desopadec for doing this, and we are eternally grateful to them.
The executive director, Shadrach Agidiga, listed the relief materials distributed.
We are here, like you saw behind us a few minutes ago, to give out some relief materials to our communities affected by the flood. What you see here is relief materials that we bought from Desopadec, the Ijaw Ethnic Nationality Fund in Desopadec, to distribute to the impacted local governments that are predominantly Ijaw local governments. We bought mattresses, foams, rice, gari, beans, palm oil, groundnut oil, soap, detergent, omo, spoons, buckets, mosquito nets, everything that is needed for household use.
At the Isoko access, residents of the impacted communities trapped by the ravaging flood in different communities are not left out of the relief materials being distributed by the Commission. Our crew members witnessed the distribution of relief materials like bags of beans, rice, gari, onions, and many other items at the Secretariat of Isoko South local government area.
Then behind there we have a tablet, so that is basso, and the basso is 25 cartons. Then here we have detergent. Detergent is 30 cartons. Here we have vegetable oil. Here is noodles. The noodles is 300 cartons of noodles. Then mattresses, we have 500 pieces of this. Here we'll have 300 bags of garri. This is beans. We have 50 bags of it. This is 200 bags of rice. Then 26 gallons of palm oil. This palm oil. We have 50 sacks of onion. These 50 sacks. Then the last but not the least, we have 1,000 tuber of yam. This is 1,000 pieces. So these are the things we have to give out basically.
Addressing the press, the MD, CEO Desopadec, Bashirun Askialge said the distribution of relief materials is to complement the efforts of the administration of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa in bringing succor to the flood victims in their different communities in Isoko land.
Now, for those that were able to come out of the water to the land, here in Ole and in Ozoro, we've been able to open camps at Desopadec, complementing what the state government is doing through SEMA. Now, we have taken it upon ourselves to provide immediate succor to those persons, feeding them adequately, providing medical for all of them, beddings and covers for all of them, and nettings. So what we are doing today, as we have done in many other localities, is to meet our people who are in their various villages and towns at their point of need, which is taking food relief materials, palliatives to them, so that they can pick up their normal life until when the flood completely recedes.
Handing over the items to the umbrella body of Isoko's socio-cultural group, Bashirun Askialge gave assurance of even distribution of the relief items to all flood victims in Isoko.
Having taken a tour round of the items, I want to formally hand over these items that we have to the Second Vice President of Isoko Development Union, Chief Daniel Udomo, to, on behalf of Desopadec, ensure that these things are distributed evenly to all. So, Mr. Vice President, that is the list of items from Desopadec. Please ensure that they are distributed evenly to our people.
The President General of Isoko Development Union, Professor Chris Akutu, who was represented by the Second Vice President of the body, Chief Daniel Udomo, urged the Commission to continue to reach out to the people.
On behalf of Isoko Nation, we want to specifically thank the MD of Desopadec and the agency, Desopadec, for this wonderful gesture, for these items to be given to our people who are affected. We are so happy, we are grateful, and we thank God. We pray so that God will give him and the Commission the enablement to be able to do more of this.
Also speaking, the member representing Isoko on the board of the Desopadec, Dr. Paul Owe, highlights the flood disaster in Isoko Access. Dr. Paul, who was represented by the Executive Chairman of Isoko North Local Government Council, Honorable Christian Iteri, said that Desopadec's efforts will help to cushion the effects of the flood on the people of Isoko Mandate area.
Isoko as a whole will say close to 70 or 60%, 60 to 70% of the communities have been ravaged by the flood, and it has been very serious. Well, the measures put in place by the Commission, we just left the council and we saw what the Commission presented through their MD. But I know that they have so many things: foodstuffs, mattresses, pillowcase, toilet roll, name it, enough to make the camp comfortable for the people.
The affected communities in Urobo area also benefited in the distribution of the relief materials. President Generals of affected communities gathered at the Urobo House, Oriamuge Agbaru, Ugeli North Local Government Area, to receive the relief materials on behalf of the communities.
Before they are coming to camp, we always have everywhere fumigated and all of that, prepared to receive them. And when they are going back home, I've said that a lot of medical complications may come up. We are also looking towards all of that, and even looking towards how to decalm the people as they are going back. Now, all the President Generals, I understand, are coming here. President Generals of communities that are impacted. So they are going to be here. The things will be shared according to their own formulas to ensure that this thing gets there. I expect that the President Generals are responsible people who have been elected by their people to lead them. And they should be able to take these things down to their people and distribute evenly to their people. So that is why we are partnering with them, so that there will be no issue of something was hijacked by somewhere. And I said, this has no political coloration. We are just out to save the people, to ensure that we meet the people at their point of need.
In his speech, the Executive Director, Finance and Administration, the Desopadec, Chief John Nani, listed some of the communities affected by the ravaging flood in the Urobo Mandate area, and also described the gesture of the Commission towards the flood victims as complementary to the efforts already put in place by the Okowa government.
Well, we are mandated by the governor. Desopadec is the Oil Producing Area Development Commission. Is the commission in charge of all oil producing communities. The governor has asked them to intervene into the suffering of the people because of the flooding. The effect of the flooding is really biting hard on the communities around Ugeli North, Ugeli South, Urobos in Patani, Udu, Uvie. I'm talking about those in Urobo now area. Even in Kokori yesterday, there are some areas that's also affected. But most affected presently is in Ugele South, Ugele North, and Urobos in Patani. This food we are providing today is for the committee president general, the chairman of the party, the councillor representing the area, to take home to give to their people so that at least they have little food to eat.
Appreciating the states and the Desopadec for the gesture, Chief Onogarigo said the intervention by the state governments through the Desopadec is timely and humane, aimed at ameliorating sufferings of the flood victims.
It is most gratifying and memorable for me to stand in for the Robo Nation under the auspices of the Robo Progress Union on this, to distribute this very timely intervention of the Delta State government under the able leadership of our great governor, His Excellency Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, to communities ravaged by flood via their President Generals. This humane and people-friendly gesture of this administration will never be forgotten. Only a government that cares for the welfare of its citizens can come up with this assistance promptly. We, the Robo Nation and Robo Progress Union in particular, says a big thanks to the Desopadec and amiable governor.
Some of the President Generals who received the items on behalf of the affected communities had a chat with the Desopadec Weekly TV and narrated the impact of the flood in their various communities.
If you go to the village now, they are passing through here. They are passing through here. More serious now from Okwama. There is no place. Even my compound now, you can't even sleep there. The water is overshadowed everywhere. So I think this relief materials is a little bit stepping stone, and the appealing from the UPU leadership, we need more to salvage the problem.
The state government have tried to provide a camp. For us presently, we have a camp in Ugweru Grammar School, where people are residing now. And what you are seeing now, the state government is equally giving relief material through the Desopadec to affected community in Ugweru communities.
The impact of this particular flood will not be felt just now. What we are felt now is a remedial this thing, but the really effect, because when you go to the cassava farms, the various farms, yam, cassava, everything, they are all destroyed. But about 6 months' time, there will be total hunger in the land. But we only pray for God's intervention. I will thank the state government for this timely intervention.
Putting smiles on the faces of the people of the mandate areas is a core mission of the Desopadec, and the Commission is committed to mitigating the negative impacts of the flood disaster. And this is our package. Thank you so much for watching. We are going to do it again next week. Do join us. But until we return, follow us on our social media handles for questions, comments, and contributions. You know how we do it. So together, we will build a stronger Delta State. On behalf of the entire crew, Joy Uche is my name. Wishing you all the best. Stay safe.